talking about Kell Brook versus Errol Spence.
Can't wait.
Hey, we're coming off a Saturday, like Super Boxing Saturday. There was more boxing than anybody could really watch, but I managed to watch almost all of it. Literally, I was in front of my TV and my laptop all day, which was my birthday yesterday. But we're looking at Coach Schwartz, who's you're working out again, Coach. You're running with us. You're running the steps. Tell everyone what we've done so far, because I know they don't believe we do anything.
We did.
They think we just do this, which is not true.
We did 400s. We did the stadium steps.
Sorry to hear that, Smelodies OG, but there's DVR, so you know it's all good. And there's live streams, man. You can watch stuff at work, man. Just take your mobile device or laptop into the bathroom with you. Yeah, so we ran some hundreds, and I don't know if y'all can see, but Kevin Costner is on this track, and he is kicking ass.
And this is
him over here?
This is what we have to offer today.
Crap.
We can sell you.
Oh, it's not him. Never mind.
He'll be around in just a second. He's got his.
We ran these steps up here, folks. Look at this. Yeah, we're doing that. My daughter, Josephine, she ran with us. She did a great job. She's oblivious to everything. She's a teenager now. And JP, you probably made some money, but you could have made more money if Uz Kategui, if that fight hadn't have been stopped, if he hadn't been DQ'd.
That referee did a lot of congratulating.
Yeah, Bill Clancy.
He had a bad night.
Yeah, mythical matchup: Valero versus Pacquiao at 135, 140. Yeah, I like Valero. I like Valero at 135, Pacquiao at 140.
But Ray Beltran is the man. Get that man a green card.
One hitter quitter. Yeah, yeah. All right, Dave.
So we're just waiting for Kevin Costner to come around.
No, I think he skipped out on us.
Because we're going to sell videos, and if you want them autographed, it's like the LeVar Ball shoe. You know.
How awesome is this track? I mean, Kevin Costner and Tom Loeffler come here.
No, it's not like it. It's
Tom Loeffler and Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
true.
Yeah.
One is trending a little more than the other.
Yeah. So yesterday I couldn't watch all the fights, but there were some real. I mean, Davis is incredible. David Benavidez, he's unbelievable. And
Benavidez, what a crazy fight that was with Porky Medina. I mean,
yeah, but that guy can.
He grew up in that fight. He's only 20. I think he's live against any 168-pounder, but I don't think they should rush him into that world title shot. I mean, what's the rush? No. He doesn't even have 20 fights yet, and he's only 20 years old. I mean, but whatever. He's sensational. That was a tremendous fight.
But I'll tell you another guy at Ontario fights on Friday, which were streamed and really good with Steve Kim and Beto Duran for 4 hours, just listening to these guys talk, and they're so good. And
you don't even need the boxing. You just listen to Beto and Steve banter.
You don't have to watch it.
You just have that on in the background. Go about your day.
And there's a guy called Ruben Villa who fought. It was his 5th fight. The kid is incredible. He's a left-hander. He's 20 years old. He's undefeated. He's from Salinas. Max.
So there's a connection there to this Garcia family, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, he's trained by Max and Sam.
That's awesome.
And his advisor is Dean Familton. And the kid's really good. The kid is really.
I got to look for him. Yeah, I'm going to look.
You got to look it up in YouTube and see that fight. It's really, really good. So yesterday was Doug's birthday. So he's almost 50.
I'm an old man.
He's almost 50.
I'm all washed up.
Growing up.
I'm totally punchy today because I've gotten 0 sleep. I was just sitting on my ass all day yesterday. But whatever, I'm working it out, working off the rust today.
And I have a question for JP. Sure. So how's the betting going on the Triple G fight?
So it's still around $170 to win 100 on Triple G. But you said you think money will come in on Canelo.
I think all the money's going to the masses,
especially like week of the fight. Come on, we all know that. Jesus, it'll be even money or even maybe Canelo a slight favor. Somebody actually put out there in these comments, Davis versus Lomachenko.
Okay.
Bro, are you out of your mind? That's child abuse. Ruin Davis. You're going to turn Gervonta Davis into Jeff Lacey. Okay.
School in session.
Come on, people. No, let's not even talk about that. Don't get excited about Liam Walsh getting blown out. Nobody ever said a word about Liam Walsh before this fight. And nobody will probably say anything about him afterwards. I mean, don't go crazy. And I know UK fans are now high on Tank. And I'm like, but you guys were not high on the dude he just knocked out. So, come on. Calm down.
Davis is really good.
No, he's a tremendous talent. But
This is
geez,
what
there's levels to this game. He's not mature yet. You put him in there with Lomachenko, and really even some of the other 130-pound title holders. It's you're forcing him to bite off more than he can chew.
Yeah.
You're feeding steak to a baby. Don't do that. It's not right.
But this is what I'm doing. I'm taking donations to have the tattoo taken off his neck. I mean, the kid's great. He's
you
really
might do
good.
that. You might do that
But
one day.
That tattoo, I don't know.
It adds
what-
to his street cred for the time being. So how are we going to do this, man? Or did Coach watch Murata versus Indom? Did you watch that fight?
I
It's
didn't
a good
watch
fight.
it, but I read all about it, and I know it was a
Yeah.
very bad decision.
I agree, JP. I think
Yeah.
Murata won that fight.
He won the fight.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. The odds were very close for that fight. Murata was the favorite, and
Yeah.
people were very upset.
Yeah, I don't like, and I thought the judging in the Barthélemy,
Yep.
how does that guy? What's his last
Relic.
name? Relic.
Relic.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Barthélemy Relic fight. I thought that was terrible.
That guy's crude, but he brings
Scores.
heat, man.
And I wouldn't have even minded Barthélemy winning by like 1 or 2
Right.
points.
Yeah.
But winning by that margin, it just sickened me. It's like the judges were basically just saying, "Fuck you, Relic."
Yeah.
Pardon my French,
Hey
everybody.
Doug, with the Triple G Canelo fight, we heard a good rumor today. The money team is all going to bet on Canelo, so that's great.
Yes,
so that's great.
true.
Just
Yes.
have the money
team is riding with their boy
bring
Canelo.
all the money,
Yeah.
bet on Canelo.
Can Gamboa get together, or is it over?
It's
No
over.
kidding.
Didn't Gamboa himself say, "Yo, it's over"?
over.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
Yeah,
this.
Robinson Castellanos let us know what's up with that. Crawford beats Lomachenko. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Crawford, I forgot him. Crawford
What'd you
was
think of
incredible.
He's excellent.
I've never been a huge Crawford lover, but oh my God, that guy is good.
Oh yeah, he's.
I mean, he
he's a
sort of-
tremendous boxer.
He loosened up a little afterward. He smiled a little,
Yeah.
But the kid, he is good. I mean,
Oh,
that guy is incredible.
he's an elite fighter.
We're 6 days out. Your pick for Spence and
I,
Brooke.
I can't pick it. This is what
I'm
say.
going. I'm riding with Brooke. Everybody.
I'm going to say it's a
By
blowout.
knockout.
It's a blowout one way or the other, and I
Right.
can't figure it out.
Yeah.
get it.
I can see Spence dominating.
Yep.
I can see Brooke dominating,
Yep. One hitter quitter.
but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. I just want to ask JP, so how did you do on gambling for the week, including what was your basketball game of the week?
The week was good. Well, the bet of the week, I mean, for basketball was Cleveland -5 because they won by
I
like
agree
80
with you,
points.
Bugs, Chicago.
Yeah.
But it went well overall. Ray Beltran was a big hero.
This guy says Crawford destroys Pacquiao.
Crawford-
yeah, but everybody
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to see that.
Sure.
Terrence
Like,
Crawford.
why does everybody want to see a
Terrence
decapitation?
Crawford's one of the
I
top
guess
3
executions are
boxers in the
popular.
world.
I'm going with Brooke myself. Great fight. Good, Rich. Rich
A lot of people are.
0671.
A lot of people are.
Yageshi got knocked out in 1 round. Did anyone watch it?
Who
No
did?
one watched it. Everyone ignored it.
Who was it?
Yageshi.
Yeah, that was a shock. I never
Yeah.
thought Melinda would be a world champion.
Melindo is a good fighter, though. And
Yeah.
Yageshi is shop worn.
True.
He's very old. A lot of wars with Yageshi.
That was a shock, though. 1 round knockout.
Oh, yeah,
3
yeah.
times down. And Inoue won this morning.
Yeah,
Who's a badass.
the monster.
Yeah.
No shocker there.
Yeah, he's a
And
great
Japan has 2 more like really young champs.
fighter. Right.
Yeah, Shiro and Higa.
Well, they've got 3 that Kosi Tanaka, 108-pound.
Yeah,
he
he's-
defended his title.
He's a kid. Yeah,
and now they've
Tanaka.
got Shiro and Higa.
Higa.
Daigo Higa, a
Yeah.
big puncher.
Yeah,
Big puncher.
13-0, 13 knockouts.
6th round knockout.
Yeah, trained by Yoko Gushiken.
Knocked
Hall
out
of Famer.
Navarrete. Big knockout.
Yeah.
Body puncher.
So
Crawford is looking better every fight, no doubt about it,
is.
Rich.
He was a
All right, so who's going to hold this thing? Or are
I'll hold
you?
it.
Okay.
I will hold it.
So,
All right.
Doug, tell us about the fight that you saw in Japan.
I saw Edwin Valero's first title defense, first defense of his WBA title 10 years ago. It was January of 2007, and what a great experience it was.
Doug and Dave. Davis versus Broner ever happening.
Davis versus
Javante.
I mean, he has to go up and weight. He's got to, Broner's a welterweight right now, and Davis is a 130-pounder. And obviously, he could make one. I mean, he could carry 135, but he's so short. I can't see him, going all the way up to 140. And if he goes to 140, I can't see him going past 140 because that height, his stature is gonna hold him back
Right.
at those heavier weights.
So Doug's going to be on Dennis Taylor's Ringside Boxing Show
Oh
tonight.
yeah, when is that?
All right.
4:30.
Okay.
The show comes on at
Is
4.
Dennis gonna just call me?
Yeah,
How's
he
that
has
work?
your number.
right.
Did he send you a thing? Anyway, so Doug's going to be on. Max Garcia's going to be on. And it's a show that's on every Sunday from 4 to 5, but it's a podcast. It's really a good show. The first half hour has got the 3 guys.
Based in Northern California, right?
Yeah, in Monterey. And Dennis Taylor is really good. And great interviewer. And so Doug's on at 4:30, and you can get it on, just go to Ringside Boxing Show.
Ringside Boxing Show.
That's the website, and I'll show you how you can get onto the, and then you can see it later on a podcast.
So let's get the show on the road, Dave. You got some questions
James
for
Bagg
us?
Jr. joined the chat. You might be in trouble.
Oh, what's up, Jimmy Bagg?
Darrell, Oscar-worthy performance?
Uh-oh.
Yes. Yes. Oscar-worthy.
That's JP saying that. That's not me.
Doug, Mikey Garcia versus Loma. Pick.
Lomachenko.
Yep,
Decision.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Coach.
Okay, so this is what happened this day in boxing history. So today's the 21st. So on May 22nd, 1993, was a fight that we all remember.
May
two
22nd, 1993.
Yeah. And
two unbeaten fighters?
One had one loss early, but it was 2 guys who sort of, not the beginning of the career, but in a little, it was in D.C.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Bernard Hopkins versus Roy Jones Jr.
Right.
For the vacant IBF title.
The first time.
That James Toney had abdicated to go up to beat the crap out of Iran Barkley.
Yeah.
Doug, bigger goons, Darrell's uncle or Bo's friends? I guess Riddick.
Riddick Bo's friends were a little crazier. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so this was the same date, May 22nd, 1999. It was welterweight fight. It was an 11th round knockout.
Okay, is this Oscar De La Hoya versus Obakar?
You got it.
Doug, Joshua versus Fury. Who you got?
Joshua versus Fury?
Yes.
I mean, right now, I mean, if Fury were to come out of retirement and just fight Anthony Joshua, I got to go with Joshua because Fury's a fat slob right now. And I don't know where he is mentally.
Right.
You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. You get, Fury gets his act together, has a good camp, has a tune-up or 2, and then fights Anthony Joshua. I favor Tyson Fury.
But that never
based
happened.
on what I've seen so far from both men. I think when Fury is right, he's very difficult for any heavyweight because he's the biggest guy out there, and he's a boxer. He's a neutralizer.
Right.
He's not trying to take it to you. He's not trying to impose his big body on you. He's moving away from you.
Right.
And he can switch hit, and he's got a jab, and he's difficult. And he's gonna taunt you and get in your head. He's that type of fighter. And really, he would be. A lot of folks would, be real down on him. A lot of folks are anyways because of some shit that he says and the fact that he never fights. But, I mean, he would really be considered a stinker if his personality wasn't so bright. They didn't have such an outgoing, peculiar personality.
All right, this is a controversial question. Thoughts on Clarissa Shields' tweets this morning?
Classless Shields? Listen, she's 22 years old. But, I mean, I think there's some arrested development there. I don't think she's terribly bright. I think she's more like a teenager.
Right.
She's like an 18, 19-year-old, maybe a 20-year-old. And, she doesn't think before she tweets. And you know what? Her world, I mean, for her, she's from that same area of Michigan. And her whole world is Michigan.
Right, right.
She's like that. I mean, like, she had the opportunity being an elite amateur boxer to see the world, but some people can travel the world and they don't leave their hotel room or where they perform. I've known basketball players, I've known track and field athletes that are from, American ghettos, right? And they've been to every continent almost. But all they did was they just went there and they were freaked out by the foreign culture. They stayed in their hotel room. They traveled to the track. They ran their race. They went right back to the hotel room. Or they played their basketball game. Right back to the hotel room. They got nothing out of the experience beyond just flying a long way. And they didn't grow from that. She had an opportunity to really grow and expand her horizons, but she's a girl from Michigan. She's from Flint. You know what I'm saying? She's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like she's going to ride for Floyd Mayweather because he's from Grand Rapids. She's going to ride for the Jarrells because guess what? Those are her people. That's just how she sees the world. It's just very simple, and you have to look at it from that perspective. Her world is kind of small, at least for the time being. That could change.
This guy says Dougie spits the truth, doesn't avoid anything.
No.
Okay, Coach.
Okay, so whose birthday is it tomorrow? They were born on May 23rd, 1954. Great middleweight.
This is a middleweight who was born
1954.
In the month of May.
May 23rd.
May 23rd, 1954. He was born.
Yeah, he was born.
Just one guy or another guy?
One guy. And I mean, all-time great.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Oh.
And he's a middleweight?
Yeah. He was always a middleweight.
Always a middleweight. Is it Marvin Hagler?
Yeah.
Good call.
Hey.
Nice. And you know, Hagler was a middleweight as an amateur.
Yeah. Here's one for Coach Schwartz.
Fought at that same weight his whole career.
Best all-time on the jump rope. Was it Sugar Ray Robinson?
It might be Valoria.
Oh, Brian Valoria.
Oh, was it Sugar Ray Leonard, this guy says?
Leonard's awesome.
Might be Brian Valoria.
Brian Valoria.
Yeah, and also I got to tell you, Miguel Cotto is incredible.
It's like a metronome.
I remember watching Cotto on the jump rope.
Cotto. So I have this tape of Cotto at the wild card, and I watch it all the time because I like to jump rope a little, and so I watch that and then try to learn off of it. But it's really good. And also, my daughter Lily, and this is the truth, is really getting good. Is really getting good at jumping rope.
This guy says Leonard. This guy says Leonard.
And I'll sell, if you want a video of Lily.
I'll go with Leonard too.
I'll get you an autograph
Leonard was possessed.
You'll get an autograph video
of Lily jumping rope, and you get a discount if you're the first 100
you get a free Tom Laughlin t-shirt. First 10.
So contact us via Periscope.
Yeah.
Coach Schwartz will get you hooked up.
Yeah. Okay.
Ali was the greatest on the rope. His foot movement tells the truth.
I tell you who was really good in the rope was Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston.
Yeah, he was really good.
But they're all good. You know, all these guys are incredible.
I mean, think about how often they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. But I watch, if you go to YouTube and look up Sugar Ray Robinson jumping rope, you could just sit there for hours watching it. It's so incredible.
This guy says, never would have guessed Cotto. Where's that movement in the ring?
No, that's right. But I was watching Cotto. He was on the speed bag, which he's really good at, for a half hour. Then he goes to jumping rope for a half hour, having a conversation going the whole time.
And real cool, calm, same facial expression the whole time.
Yeah, and you know something? He always has that. It doesn't matter. If he's falling off a cliff, he has the same one.
Yeah.
So what happened? What do you think happened with him in Rock Nation?
They weren't able to pay their minimum. He signed a 3-fight deal with them, and he was supposed to make a huge amount of money each fight, and they came out the pocket when he fought Daniel Gill. They were able to pay him okay with the Canelo fight because that was a pay-per-view that did over 90,000 buys. But then for this third fight, it wasn't pay-per-view. They're having trouble finding an opponent. And they said, listen, we're going to pay you a lot, but we can't pay you what we contractually obligated ourselves to pay you. And Cuddle's like, hey, it's been fun, but I'm going to move on. Peace out. Good luck to you. You know, he's at that point where it's like, I am not going to get in this ring and take a single punch unless I'm getting paid what I want to get paid or what we agreed.
I don't blame him.
For you know, what we agreed to be my payment.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
That's fair. So do you think he's going to sue them?
I didn't. I mean, had he fought Camel Guy, I'd have been rooting hard for Camel Guy just to get Cotto out of here. I mean, it's time for Cotto to move on.
So do you think there's going to be a lawsuit?
No, I don't think so. Why would there be a lawsuit?
Because they obligated to $50 million for 3 fights.
Yeah.
It depends how it's all written.
Yeah, I don't know how it's it depends how it's written. I just think they go their separate ways.
You got a couple more, Coach Schwartz?
Yeah, I have more. Okay, so on
because Dave, it's the money was for 3 fights. Yeah, they weren't able to pay him what he wanted to be paid, but he's not fighting a third time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a two-way street.
So on May 24th, 2008.
May 24th, 2008.
Right.
Recent history.
And it was a 12-round decision.
Okay.
It was in Manchester, England.
Okay.
One guy, from England, and the other guy who used to hang out in L.A.
Oh, really?
He worked out in Wild Card.
It was in Manchester, and this is 2008?
Yeah. So you know who the English fighter was?
9 years ago.
Manchester. Probably from Mexico.
Wait a minute, are you talking about Juan Lascano?
Wow.
That wasn't, okay, that was in Manchester? Because that was in a stadium. That wasn't at the Manchester Arena.
Juan Lascano.
That was in a football stadium. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's right.
What's the distance?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Good fight. And this was Ricky Hatton right after the knockout loss to Floyd Mayweather, right?
I don't know that.
This guy says, Doug, are you going to be at the IBHOF next month? The Hall of Fame?
No, I didn't plan to, no.
Okay.
But getting in is one of my favorite fighters of all time, Marco Antonio Pereira, and the late Johnny Tapia, and Evander Holyfield's in it. So.
Okay. Good class.
Yeah, it's some star power, huh? Yeah, I'm sure if you're going, I'm sure you're going to have a good time. Yeah.
Now,
One day I do plan on going.
If you want to take Doug in your private jet, don't consider going. Right? So he needs to make.
He's got to go in and out.
Yeah, right. So okay, here's one. May 25th, 1951. Lightweight championship. They have the same manager.
What? A gangster? Okay.
Leaky player.
Yeah. So, Ike Williams is one of these guys. Ike Williams is probably the guy who won. He's the guy who lost. Ike Williams and Jimmy Carter. How about that, folks?
Doug, did you know that
Do you kids at home know about Ike Williams and Jimmy Carter? Do you? Every time people talk about great lightweights, they just say Roberto Duran and Pernell Whitaker. And they might toss Shane Mosley or Floyd Mayweather in there. And I'm like, no!
Doug, did
The
you
lightweight
know
division has such a history.
Did you know that Dominic Verde cried when Pacquiao KO'd Barrera?
Did he?
Who was that?
Dominic Verdine?
Yeah.
He's a huge Barrera fan. Dominic's probably proud of that moment.
Okay.
Also, on May 25th.
Who the hell?
Coffee bag.
May 25th, 1965.
Yeah. May 25th, 1965.
Okay. When they took the photo, there's a guy in between the legs of the guy.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about the rematch between Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. Lewiston, Maine, and that guy in the picture, Larry Merchant.
Right. Here's the question of
So
the
he's
week.
like this.
Here's the question of the week right here for Coach Schwartz and Dougie Fisher. How did Vivian Harris get medically cleared to fight Chop Chop in North Carolina last night?
That happened?
It happened.
No.
Corley won by knockout.
Yeah. And Corley should really look at hanging him up, but he has prolonged his career.
Chop Chop's incredible.
Chop Chop has been sort of like a gatekeeper, a reliable gatekeeper for almost 10 years. He still wins.
Incredible.
And he gives guys hell. It's like,
North Carolina. Apparently the promoter also fought on the card. This guy says Chop Chop versus Zab next. Sure.
yeah, I mean, Zab would take that fight.
And let me ask you,
All right,
this. Who was the referee for that listed now?
Jersey Joe Walcott.
Nice.
Have you ever seen the film The Harder They Fall? Jersey Joe was awesome in that film. Oh my God. He was amazing. Jersey Joe.
So once again, Dougie, you got
Did I get 100% on my paper?
100%.
Hey, everybody, you gotta know something. Sometimes the best questions, trivia questions that I answer and get right, it happens off camera. Like, we'll end it, and then Dave will like, hey, I got a few more in here, and he'll read them. And they'll be obscure, like he'll go to like the 1800s or early 1900s, where I'm a little fuzzy, I admit. And every now and then, I don't always get it, every now and then I'll get it. I'm like, holy crap, that should have been on camera. This wasn't bad, those were actually pretty good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, the Ike Williams, Jimmy Carter, a lot of folks, I mean, I think historians remember Ike Williams. I think Jimmy Carter is like one of these guys who was a great fighter that everyone forgets about. A, they look at the record like, well, too many losses there, I can't, count them. And B, they just weren't, their personalities weren't flamboyant or flashy enough to kind of stand out, to stand the test of time. You just got to judge them on what they did in the ring and look at the record and look at who they fought and when they fought those guys. Okay. They have a real appreciation. And most people just won't do that anymore. So you got these guys who, they're really terrific fighters, Sammy Angot to Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter used to lose on purpose.
Yeah.
He'd lose on purpose and have a rematch.
Right.
Laurel Salas, he lost that.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't there, but I know the name. I've seen it on records. Yeah. But he's a forgotten fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah. All these,
Jimmy Carter was incredible.
Yeah.
What happened was
Enrique Bolanos was a lightweight and popular in the LA area.
No, Ike Williams and Enrique Bolanos fought like 4 times.
Yeah.
And it was huge.
Right.
Huge.
Right. But these guys are totally forgotten about. But if you find like the film footage of them, you see so much skill and technique with them, so much fire, so much heart as well. So,
you want to take one more?
Yeah, I'll take another question.
Okay, one more. Would your boy Valero have made the Hall of Fame had he not gone off the deep end?
Yeah, I think so.
One day, probably.
Yeah, listen. He won 2 world titles in 2 weight classes, never lost a fight, and he practically trained himself.
Right.
There was no continuity with this guy's training. And he was so manic. He would go off the deep end, like binges on like alcohol and drugs, and he was nuts. He would mix like tequila and Viagra. You know what I mean? Like what? You know what I'm saying? And not sleep for a week, but he'd go in and train and be like a monster all the time. But he went from Joe Hernandez and Clemente Medina to and there was Ken Adams, and then there was Robert Alcazar. But there were some guys in between there, like between Hernandez and Ken Adams. And it's like a couple of years, by the way. It's like just trained himself. And he was out of the ring. All of 2004, he's out of the ring. He trained every day. He was a freak. He had that kind of discipline, not knowing if he would ever have a career. And he never really had any kind of guidance. There was never any, real promotion or management. It doesn't really matter how talented you are. You can be super talented. If you have shitty training, shitty management, and no promotion, you go nowhere. It doesn't matter about your talent. Talent needs to be fostered and guided through this minefield that we call the boxing business and the sport itself. And he was able to do what he did almost on his own, which is crazy. And when you think about it, your first title fight, you've never fought past 2 rounds. Really think about that. You've never fought past 2 rounds. And this guy that you fight was a badass in Panama, and you fight him in his hometown. He takes you out of that 2nd round, cuts you, and drops you in the 3rd round. Most guys are done. They fall apart because they're drowning. And Valero picks himself up and fights his way back into this fight and gets better round after round after round after round until he beats Vicente Mosquera for the WBA super featherweight title. It's amazing. I don't think 10th or so. Yeah. The corner just stopped him. Mosquera's corner just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. This dude's a machine.
So who kicked Valero out of there?
Oscar De La Hoya? I don't know if he kicked him out, just stopped sparring.
No, he wouldn't.
And Valero bet heavily on Manny Pacquiao by knockout. He bet a lot of money.
The easiest pick in the history of boxing. Coach Schwartz nailed that one.
Yeah. And Steve Kim.
And Dave Smith.
And I know Dave. I know Dave bet on it.
Everyone.
I don't know if Steve put any money on it, but Dave did.
Everybody thought I was crazy. And that was the easiest fight. Everyone 100%.
Yeah, it's that X factor of weight.
On size.
Never seen him out. Never seen Pacquiao over 135 pounds. And De La Hoya had been fighting at junior middleweight, coming down to welterweight. You didn't know how that would affect him. But De La Hoya, who was already faded, overshot it. Came in extra light. It was crazy.
This guy says classic stuff, Doug. You love it.
Hey, so
Thank you.
This is the thing. The last couple of weeks, there were a lot of people killing out of those.
Yeah.
We had Christopher was white. We had that boxer. Just happened. We had the basketball player from Sky who lost his sister that killed. So
Isaiah Thomas.
So
gotta drive carefully. I mean, it just takes one split second just
Slow
to
down.
take your eye off the road.
Be
for a
aware.
second. Forget you have your cell phone with you. Even to take your eye off the road to change the radio, you got to keep a lot of distance. You got to really drive carefully. I mean, Chris Berman just retired, and his wife gets going in car crash. So it happens, man. God, I mean, it's more important than exercising and eating, like driving carefully. It's so important. We got to really concentrate on it. What do you say about that?
I say slow down, be aware, take care of yourself, make sure you got your sleep. Too many people driving around sleep deprived. Eat right, drink lots of water, chew your food carefully. But most important, you got to be like JP. You got to take the high road.
Right.
Always.